Hi, today I'm going to show you how to get started with Claude Code in your existing project. My name's Damian, and I've been a software engineer for about 16 years. Over the past year, I've been spending a lot of time diving into the various AI coding tools that exist to help me with my day-to-day work. So I want to share with you my experience and what's worked well for me. I've really been enjoying Claude Code. I've moved from Cursor, which is the previous tool that I was using. And while you can still use the same models, say inside of Cursor, like Claude Sonnet or Opus, the harness that Claude Code provides, I believe, is far superior in getting things done. So this is going to be a look into how I get something set up, and more videos will come on how I use Claude Code daily. The first thing we'll need to do to get started is install Claude Code. I have a fresh setup on my computer, and so I'll walk you through how I install it. So on the right here, we have the Claude Code website. I'll share this in the description. We can grab the command here. I'm running on Mac OS. I'm going to paste it into my terminal. This will go ahead and run the installation process and set up Claude Code for us. So we can see here, it's installed in our home directory under local bin Claude. Now, if we run Claude, we'll be greeted with the Getting Started wizard. So I prefer the dark mode, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that. And now we can choose our login method. So you'll notice that with your Claude account, you can go with a subscription. So you can either do Pro, Max, Team, or Enterprise, or you can go via Anthropic console account. So using API usage billing instead. I prefer to use my subscription, and let's take a look at that. So on the Claude Code website, we can dive down. There are 3 different subscription plans for individuals. So you have Pro, Max 5x, and Max 20x. Now, Pro will get you short coding sprints, kind of as it says right here. I'm personally on the Max 5x plan. This is what I use on my day-to-day as a software engineer as well. And there's also the Max 20 if you do need more room. You can also see that they do offer team and enterprise pricing if you need that. So I'm going to go ahead and choose 1 to sign in with my existing subscription. Go ahead and authorize this. And now we can go back to the terminal. So we've logged in successfully. We get a generic warning about Claude, they can make mistakes, and to avoid prompt injection risks. So now I do want the recommended settings, so I'm going to go ahead and choose that. So for example, we can hit Shift Enter when we need new lines. And I do trust this repository because this is my personal website. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes, proceed. And here we are, we're ready to go. So the first thing to do when we're inside of a new or an existing code base is to help Claude get an understanding of the landscape of what your application is. So to do that, we can actually run the /init command. And so what this is going to do is Claude is now going to go ahead and do a search through all the files in your repository and get an understanding of what the project is about. So we'll let that happen, and it's going to go ahead and construct a claude.md file, which we'll take a look at together. So the claude.md file is Claude's project memory. So think of this as an understanding for Claude that gets loaded every time you start a new session. You can include things that you'd want Claude to understand about your code base. So whether it's style guidelines or commands that need to be run, things like that. You can also have more than one claude.md file. You can actually have a claude.local.md file and add that to your git ignore. This can be used for personal preferences that are used just for you and not committed and added for the wider team. An example here might be, for me, I like to practice test-driven development. So if my wider team doesn't typically do that, I can have instructions in the claude.local.md file to practice test-driven development and have that in the git ignore so that it only applies to my sessions that I start. Now let's take a look at what Claude has generated from the init command. Basic commands like the development commands for run dev to start the server, or run dev CSS to watch and compile CSS only. We have the build commands as well as the Hugo specific commands. We can also see that the structure was determined, so it knows that the layouts has custom templates, where the content for posts are, where the pages are, and how static and the configuration works. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes. I want to confirm these changes. You typically have the option to, when Claude is showing you changes, you can choose to accept it. You can choose to move on and auto accept any similar changes moving forward, or you can choose to reject it with some information and a prompt to say guide Claude to do something different instead. So we can see that it's gone ahead and created this command. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and exit and restart the Claude session. And if I run the context command, we'll see that here it is in the memory files. The Claude MD is loaded for 498 tokens. So every time we start a session inside of this project, that Claude MD file gets created. Let's take a look at using Claude to actually do some changes inside this code base. So I've noticed on the right here, this is my personal website. This is one of the blog posts, and I noticed a bug where on the ordered list here, there are no numeric indicators. And I've also noticed that unordered lists are the same. And that's not ideal. So let's take a look at resolving that together with Claude Code. So to do that, we're going to have to give Claude a prompt. And I like to speak to Claude or write prompts as if I was talking to someone on my team. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, I noticed that on my blog posts, when rendering an ordered list or an unordered list, there are no bullets or numeric indicators. Can you help me fix this while maintaining my design style? So we'll send that over to Claude and let's see how it does. So it's going to go ahead and we can see that it's taking a look at the main CSS file to understand what changes it might need to do. It's thinking, and we can see that it found the issue. The pros unordered list and pros order list have no list style type defined, and the Tailwind CSS is resetting it. And here it has suggested some changes. So we can see that, again, Claude is not going to go ahead and just make changes to files without us reviewing it unless we're in auto accept. And here's our suggestions. So for unordered lists, it's going to use a list style type of disk. For ordered lists, it's going to use a decimal, and it's going to go ahead and update the marker to use the color accent teal from our CSS variables. So yes, I do want to accept those changes. So we'll go ahead and let it make those changes for us. And let's see how things turned out. So, okay, it has done that. And so now that we've refreshed, we can see that yes, now there are numbers with our ordered list, and this looks much better than it did before. So perfect. Now let's take a look at another example, something a little more complex. I've switched to another project of mine, a side project I've been working on, and I'm going to demonstrate to you a concept that I typically do whenever I'm in a new code base. So if I join a new project, a new team, and I'm trying to get my bearing on how to get started, this is typically what I'll do. So let's take an example of wanting to understand how user authentication works inside of this system. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Claude to help me with that. Help me understand how authentication works within this application. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to see that Claude is going to be thinking through what this looks like. This may take a minute. It's going to have to go through the various pieces of code and understand where things are. I've purposefully not given it any guidance to look at any specific files or anything like that for the purposes of this demonstration, so that we can kind of see what it comes up with on its own without some very specific prompting. Okay, so here we are with the authentication overview. So Claude has scanned through all the classes, all the files in this code base, and has come up with some information for us. So let's go ahead and take a look. So it says this application uses a custom authentication system built on Rails conventions, not Devise. And here's how it works. The core components that has password hashing using the Rails has secure password. It has two-factor auth via the ROTP gem. We have authorization handled via pundit policies, and we have multi-tenancy handled by access tenant. So far, a pretty good understanding of kind of how the whole auth kind of system comes together. And now we can see the flow. So it says it's session-based using user credentials stored in the session. It uses an email confirmation to be required before a login is allowed. It has optional two-factor auth with 15-minute drift tolerance, and it has a tenant membership check whenever it signs in. We can see that it found some of the key models. So the user model, the login logout controller, the auth service, the two-factor auth challenges controller, and some various different security measures that are in place. So it sees that there are session fixation prevention with reset session. We're using secure cookies. We have rate limiting in place, and we have password reset tokens that expire within 2 hours. And it also kind of dives into some of the multi-tenant systems that we have in place as well. So this is a super useful way to kind of get an understanding of a new system. So like I said, if I'm coming on to a new project or even just a project that I've been on, but within a section of the code base that I'm not familiar with, I'll always kind of do a deep dive with Claude to get an understanding of what the lay of the land looks like before I get started. And that's how I get started with Claude Code and existing code base. I hope this was helpful. I'll be posting more videos like this one to get an understanding of how I use Claude Code as the environment's always changing what feels like at a daily basis. Thanks.